Isaiah, the Multiverse Prophecy, Episode 0, The Architecture of Prophecy, the Sethian Key to the Book of Isaiah, the Hook, Why Isaiah Still Speaks. The Book of Isaiah is not just ancient scripture, it is one of the most psychologically intense, symbolically layered, and emotionally charged texts ever written by the human mind. Across its 66 chapters, it moves from accusation to vision, from devastation to renewal, from despair to a breathtaking sense of cosmic order. For thousands of years, people have read Isaiah as prophecy words about kings, nations, suffering, exile, and hope. Others have read it as warning, poetry, or divine mystery. But very few have asked a deeper question: what kind of mind was capable of seeing reality this way? What if Isaiah was not only speaking about the future? What if he was demonstrating how consciousness itself moves through time? What if prophecy is not a supernatural interruption of history, but a shift in perception, a human awareness stepping outside the narrow corridor of ordinary time and into a wider field of meaning? In this series, we explore Isaiah not as distant history and not as religious debate, but as a map of inner perception written by a human being who learned how to see beyond the surface of events, not to escape the world, but to understand the forces shaping it from within. The scriptural disclaimer. Before we begin, a clear note of respect and clarity. Disclaimer. This series offers a metaphysical and psychological reading of the Book of Isaiah, using ideas from Seth Speaks by Jane Roberts as a conceptual lens. It does not replace traditional theology, personal faith, or religious practice. The Bible is honored here as a sacred text. Our purpose is not to redefine doctrine, argue belief, or diminish tradition, but to explore how prophetic experience may arise within human consciousness. These interpretations are symbolic, reflective, and exploratory. They are offered as one possible framework for understanding how inner awareness, emotion, belief, and perception may shape what prophets see and express. Take what deepens clarity and compassion. Leave what does not. Movement 1. The prophet as a multidimensional perceiver. Traditionally, a prophet is understood as a messenger, someone chosen to deliver words from a distant, external God to humanity. In this view, prophecy flows in one direction, from heaven to earth, from deity to human. Through the Sethian lens, a prophet is something else entirely. Seth describes every human being as a focused expression of consciousness, a beam of awareness emerging from a larger field of intelligent life. This larger field, which Seth calls all that is not separate from humanity, but the source from which all individuality arises. Most people experience reality through what Seth calls the ego, a perception system designed for survival, identity, linear time, and physical continuity. The ego is not an enemy, it is a tool, but it is a narrow one. It filters experience down to what is immediately useful, predictable, and socially reinforced. A prophet like Isaiah, however, appears to have developed access to what Seth calls the inner senses, modes of perception that extend beyond linear time, beyond cultural conditioning, and beyond the assumption that the present moment is the only reality that exists. Isaiah did not predict events the way a gambler guesses the next card. He entered what Seth calls the spacious present, a state of awareness in which past, present, and future are not experienced as a straight line, but as a field of simultaneous probabilities, already forming, already interacting. In this state, prophecy is not fortune-telling. It is pattern recognition across time. Isaiah perceived how belief, fear, power, and collective emotion shape reality long before those outcomes fully materialized. He was not watching history unfold, he was watching it assemble. Movement 2. The 4 pillars of interpretation. To navigate Isaiah's 66 chapters without reducing them to either superstition or abstraction, this series rests on 4 interpretive pillars. These are not doctrines, but perceptual tools, grounded in psychology, symbolic reasoning, and consciousness studies. First, the camouflage reality. Isaiah repeatedly condemns empty rituals, hollow sacrifices, and public displays of righteousness that lack inner integrity. Through a Sethian lens, this reflects what Seth calls the camouflage reality, the belief that external form is more real than internal intent. In the camouflage reality, people mistake appearances for truth, rules for meaning, and behavior for consciousness. Isaiah's harsh language is not cruelty. It is an attempt to crack the shell of this illusion, to force awareness back toward the inner source from which all action arises. Second, The moment of great emotion. Isaiah's most powerful visions arise during moments of grief, awe, fear, or existential shock. Seth explains that intense emotion temporarily dissolves the ego's grip on perception. It disrupts routine awareness and opens a window to deeper layers of the psyche. In this view, prophetic vision emerges at psychological thresholds, moments when the familiar world no longer fully explains itself and consciousness is forced to expand. Third, the Christ Gestalt. When Isaiah introduces the figure often called the servant, interpretations diverge across traditions. In this series, we approach the servant as a symbolic pattern of consciousness, an archetype of empathy, sacrifice, responsibility, and integration. Terms like source son or Christ Gestalt are used here as metaphors, not doctrines. They describe a unifying intelligence that enters human experience not through domination, but through presence, endurance, and understanding. Fourth, consciousness in nature. Isaiah calls heaven and earth as witnesses. Through the Sethian perspective, this is not poetic exaggeration. Seth suggests that awareness exists at many levels of matter, from atoms to ecosystems. Only humans, with their specialized ego, can forget their connection to the source. Isaiah's appeal to nature becomes a reminder of the unconscious wisdom already functioning within our own bodies, a wisdom that does not argue, justify, or pretend. Movement 3. Judgment, shadow, and probability. One of the most misunderstood themes in Isaiah is judgment. From a Sethian perspective, judgment is not punishment imposed by an external authority. It is cause and effect within consciousness. When an individual or a nation organizes its beliefs around fear, separation, domination, and scarcity, it generates corresponding probable realities. These realities are not inflicted, they are produced. Isaiah is not threatening catastrophe. He is describing the mathematics of belief. What later traditions call evil appears here as ignorance of connection, a state in which consciousness forgets its relationship to the whole. It is not a monster to be fought, but a shadow to be understood and integrated. Movement 4. Why this matters to you. This series is not only about Isaiah, it is about you. By reading prophecy as an inner science, you begin to recognize moments of strong emotion as gateways, not failures. Understand belief as a creative force, not a moral burden. Sense the deeper intelligence organizing your experiences. Remember that you are not isolated, accidental, or powerless. Isaiah's vision of the throne is not distant. It is the same sustaining intelligence coordinating your breath, your thoughts, and your becoming right now. Anchor line and transition. As we begin this journey, hold this anchor line. I am connected to a deeper intelligence, and I am learning to listen. In our next episode, Episode 1, The Witness of the Heavens, we enter Isaiah, Chapter 1, where the prophet calls the very atoms of the earth to testify against the sleep of human awareness. Welcome to the journey. You are not only watching the dream, you are participating in its unfolding. Like and subscribe. This wonderful journey is just beginning.